Okay, last night, every Friday night, as a matter of fact, at 8 o'clock at Blog Talk Radio, there's a program called Making the Connection. I try not to miss that show. It's hosted by Hassan Khalik, and it's a great show. Their channel, their network on Blog Talk is Doc Radio. So you can go to docradio.net or blogtalkradio.com and look for Making the Connection every Friday night at 8 o'clock. Coming out, there's always some great conversation. Last night we touched on the subject of weapons, and I'm very fond of traditional martial arts weapons, but I've kind of moved away from them in recent years for some very good reasons. As a former practitioner, as a former student of ninjutsu, as you can imagine, I've trained in many different weapons. Some of my favorites over the years have been the crossbow. Going back into the 70s as a teenager, it was the nunchucks. I think nunchucks was everyone's favorite back in the 70s. And I also am very fond of the kamas. And also, one of my all-time favorites, the short sword. The reason I'm so fond of the short sword is because I can actually conceal this on my body if I was walking in the street. But I would never do that because the short sword, like the nunchuck and many other weapons, are illegal to carry, at least in the northeastern United States where I spend most of my time. So you're not going to walk down the street with a samurai sword in New York City and thinking you're going to get away with it. So what I gravitated toward are weapons that are 100% legal to carry, and you won't get any type of problem with the law, and yet they're very effective weapons. So the first one I'd like to show you is called the tire thumper, and these you can find at various gas stations and rest stops along the interstate highways. This one I got on Interstate 78 in New Jersey, and again it's 100% legal. Why? Because it's being sold as not as a weapon but as a tire thumper. But for us coming from martial arts, of course, this is a weapon for us. So this is supposedly, what you're supposed to do with this is whack your tire and get a sense of the tire pressure, whether or not your tire needs air. But we're not living in the 1930s and 40s anymore, and I don't think anyone does that. But this, as you can see, can make an excellent weapon. The next one that I'm very fond of is called the handler. And this you can find at some major grocery chain stores, because this is actually to carry a shopping bag. So with the handler, you can slip 5, 6, 7, 8 shopping bags onto this handle and carry the shopping bags pretty easily. But again, the first time I saw this, my eyes got very wide, because this is obviously a weapon. This is something you can use to enhance your jab very easily, attack the opponent's attacking agents. If it's a street fighter, you know he's coming with a wild ass overhand right, bang, you want him to hit this instead. That will discourage further aggression. And you have this nice point right here which can be applied to pressure points, and again can discourage aggression. Many practical uses for this. This is made out of very hard plastic. It's dirt cheap, and I'll put some links where you can buy these if you can't find it locally. I'll tell you where you can buy it online. Another weapon that I'm very fond of is the short axe. Again, this can be concealed on the body, which is one of the things I like about it. Devastating weapon, bladed weapon. I carry these. I keep one of these in my car, and I also carry the tomahawk, which is about the same length. So they're very short, but the tomahawk is even lighter, and the tomahawk has been weighted for throwing. So we take it outside and practice throwing it and hitting the target. So the short axe, the short handle tomahawk. Next is the yawara. Again, this is just something that I found around my house, and I said, hey, in my eyes this is yawara. I'm not really fond of this one because it's a little bit longer than I like it, so I have several other types of yawaras that I use that are much shorter. And again, working on security in the clubs in New York City in 2013 and 2014, I always had the yawara with me, and I turned a lot of security guards onto this. Again, this is something that really makes your punch a lot more devastating and can be applied various places to guide your opponent and to win some compliance from him. Okay, and is a company called Koga, Cold Steel. They're known for making blades, but they also make some excellent uaras. Another weapon that I've been fond of over the years is the twin blades. But again, I'm not trying to catch a case, and I'm sure you're not trying to catch a case either. So we have the short stick, which is part of Filipino stick fighting, which I trained in the 80s when I was in college. I don't remember what type of wood this is, but it's very lightweight, but yet it's very effective. This is another type of short stick with a much heavier wood. Again, I forgot what type of wood this is called, but this one is a lot harder. It's still lightweight, but it's a lot harder. Again, you can do a little bit more damage. You know, these require a little bit of training though to become good at them. And then you have the actual screamer stick. This is the actual one of the two sticks that I had when I was actually training in the 80s in arnis de mano, and I still have both of the sticks. But I no longer use the term arnis de mano because that is the name that the Spanish colonialists gave to the art when they essentially invaded the Philippines. So I go now by the name of screamer. That's what I call it, either a screamer or kali, which is the name that the native Filipinos gave to the art. So to call it arnis de mano to me is, I find that to be offensive. So again, you have that short staff with this type of wood, very lightweight wood, or you can go with the harder wood. You put some tape on there as a weapon, and it doesn't take very long to become skillful with this. And I can show you a link to a video that I did with my students that had only been training for about 3 months training in this, and you can see that with 3 months of training, you know, they look pretty sharp already. So the last weapon that I wanted to show is the military pen, but we'll have to save that for next time because I can't find my military pen right now, probably in the car. Military pen is made out of metal. You can use it for writing. It's not made, it doesn't have a plastic body like this though, but it writes, you know, perfectly well, functions 100% as a pen. But it's also got the metal body, and it's got some special tips on it, and with the tip you can actually shatter the windshield of an automobile. So if you can shatter the windshield of an automobile with a pen, you can imagine what you can do applying this against the bony or fleshy parts of the human body. So we'll save that for next time. I'll show you the military pen. So that's it for now. Hey, again, you're invited. Blog Talk Radio every Friday night, 8 o'clock, making the connection.